Come on, Patrick. Jesus.
I'm just trying to familiarise you with all of the positions, because you're probably finding from beach starts how important the positions are. They're even more important when you do a water start. So right now the wind is blowing from the south. If I've gone down, catapult fall or whatever, I've ended up in the sea anchor position and the rig has gone downwind and floated to the surface. You probably know most of this anyway. So I'm going to go through a few different ones. From here, I'd be swimming, treading water, and usually you'd hold the board away from you a little bit so you can slice it around, which actually spirals the rig to the surface. So position 1 is sea anchor. Position 2, you go to the nose. Everything that I'm doing walking, you'd need to do swimming. But actually when it's windy, as long as you're holding onto the nose, it'll end up here. Now it won't stay here, so you've got to keep it in position from now. It will stay more or less in the sea anchor. Anytime you feel you've messed up a stage, don't fight against the wind, go back one stage and sort it out from there. So right now, even in these super light winds, the rig is exactly across the wind and it's floated to the surface. Your next job would be flying the rig. That will only work if the rig is across the wind, but you can start that with the mast tip facing slightly away from the wind. If the mast tip is facing slightly into the wind, it's still doable, but as you go to tow the rig up, you're more likely to tow it out of position. That has become the sea anchor, and the board now is attracting the wind, so it spirals you out of position very quickly. Now all of the manuals say, grab it here and swing it back, but that's a lot of effort. What I would do is I'd go to the other side and just allow it to come round, which is probably just as fast and it's way less effort. Anyway, rig's now on the surface. You'd go pretty much to here. You'd use your backhand, you'd have it in under grip. I'm not going to get wet right now, but what you're aiming to do here is you're aiming to stretch right out. So you'd be using your buoyancy, you'd be swimming with this hand, you'd be towing it towards you with the other hand. If you just keep doing that, eventually the rig will levitate. If you want to speed it up, once it starts to go light, you can throw it into your hand. Then you bear the board away. So all this is done swimming. Of course you'd end up across the wind. Of course I've got no wind now. Let's see if I can come up anyway. If you go down and the rig happens to be clue first, you start it the same way. You go to the sea anchor and now it will end up with a board across the wind. The rig will be on the downwind side, but now it's back to front. Clue of the sail facing the nose of the board. We deal with this in a different way. So now we go to the back of the board and we hold the foot strap with the backhand. We then take the back of the board to the rig, reach across here. So this is an awkward position. I'm actually going to have to get a bit wet now. So you push the board down while you pull the rig up and over your head, ending up straight in the magic position. So I'm upwind of the board, swim, 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 back foot on, push the rig up and forward, sail away. If you have to change direction, get the rig out of the water first. Now there's all kinds of things online and in manuals where they say flip the rig over first. Don't do that, it's a waste of energy and it'll bury the rig. For quite some time, I used to show what I thought was a shortcut, and to roll the rig over the other way, you can climb up the boom, hold the harness line, and push the rig under. That's way less effort than flipping the rig, but both of these are way more effort than flying the rig and flipping it. So I've never actually used that in my own windsurfing. Don't know why So now, sea anchor to the nose, get the rig out, and even in these light winds the rig comes right to the surface, bang bang. But if I'm going the wrong way, once the rig is nicely flying and under control, I'll just swing backwards, holding onto the rig for as long as possible. Then I flip it, and you know it from here.
Ooh. Wow.